Hello there, people, and welcome back to the third episode of the Unpopular Opinions Gaming Podcast. As always, I am Mickey. This is my YouTube channel. My faithful co-host Bebsey is over there. Say
Hello.
hi.
Hello, Bebsey.
Yes, he said hello to himself again. And this week's guest is Tequila. If you want to introduce yourself and tell the people where they can find your stuff.
Hi, I'm Tequila. You can just look up, if you search Tequila Nunley or T Nunley or anything like that, you'll find me on YouTube. No big deal.
No big deal, we will find you.
So-
There's one video in particular you guys should watch on her channel.
oh no.
It's named Embarrassing Stories and a Llama. I'll link to it in the description to this video. But yeah, we're back with the same general kind of topics and themes as previous weeks. You're probably sick of us speaking about them now anyway, but tough. I'm going to kick off by basically discussing the games we've been playing recently. I'll start it off this time, I guess. This week I've been playing Team Fortress 2. That's about the height of it. I've played like a ridiculous amount of hours as the engineer and the heavy, so I was like, I'll try out some of the others. And I don't know how much time either of you guys have spent on TF2.
I've spent a fair bit. I used to think that I was complete and utter rubbish, and then when back on one of Cilantro's on days when he had the community play days, I ended up dominating for a lot of it, and I was like, oh, okay, either I'm actually better than I thought I was, or these people are not very first-person shooter-y people.
Yeah, you see, I'm never sure about that whenever I play Team Fortress 2, because I end up in like the top 3 in the team. I'm like, but I'm doing so bad though.
And then you go on a public match, and as soon as you spawn, there's a sniper that shoot you through a keyhole across the other side of the map a mile away. And you go,
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
can't tell if botting or is that good.
Well, I have a Team Fortress 2 montage actually from one of Sil's streams, like on my YouTube, and I'm going to check just to see how many times you killed me, and I'll find you. But I've been actually trying out the sniper now, playing on like the one map on Capture the Flag, just playing as a sniper, and I did that for like 4 hours yesterday. But that's all I've played. My Steam looks so pitiful. I've played 9.8 hours of games in the past 2 weeks. An hour and a half of Far Cry 1, and an hour and a half of Dracula Origin, and then like almost 7 hours of Team Fortress 2. I haven't been very active.
That's the way, you're a busy man, unlike some of us.
I like to tell myself I'm a busy man, but like when I come in from work, there's a good like 8 hours of me doing nothing before I go to bed. I'm just like, I'm too lazy to play games. Like, how does that happen to a gamer? Too lazy to play games. But just one of those curses. How about you then, Bebbers? What have you been at?
I wouldn't say I've been so lazy as to not playing games, but I open up my Steam list and I go, wow, that's a lot of games, but nope, don't feel like, nope, don't want that, nope. So I've basically been, as always, playing Feed the Beast. But I did manage to fit in some Grand Theft Auto 5 again, finally.
Yeah.
And I was, rather than doing some of the... Well, I'm trying to find the story missions, but at the moment, all I can find are the random encounter side missions. So I've been doing some of them and just derping about, and it's like, yeah, this is fun. But I really should get to the story missions at some point, because a bit just like Arkham Origins, which I also want to get back to. I spent a long time staying away from the discussions and the story and the people that are streaming because I didn't want anything spoiled. And there's like, yeah, I must wait for it to get here. And then when it gets here, I play like a couple hours and then put it down. And it's like, why did I do all that time avoiding the game if I'm not going to play it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens too often with me as well. There's games where I'm like, oh, I have to pre-order this. I need to get the collector's edition. And then 6 months after it comes out, I still haven't beaten it. Like Splinter Cell Blacklist came out in September. I've played like 2 hours of that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's a pity. But
I had Dead Watch Dogs, the Dead Sec edition, the collector's special, set up for PC, and then that got delayed. So I was like, right, cancelling that for now. And
Yeah, I mean, on a slightly unrelated note, I just got a Snapchat of a boob and I'm really scared. I'm
Just
going
one.
to...
Just one.
Just one boob, so I'm going to turn the phone off and kind of throw it away so I can't see it until after. Because it wasn't a nice boob, guys. Just
But it was
wasn't.
only just the one.
It was just the one. It was like an angry cyclops. So
Say hi.
it would be so awkward if like the person who sent me that watches this.
Maybe that's why it was a cameo.
I used to have that happen to me on Twitter at some point, where for my Twitter app on my phone, I was subscribed to Gearbox when they were releasing the shift codes.
Yeah.
And it popped up saying, "Oh, a shift code announced." So I hit, "Okay, send me to that message." But for some reason, the app wouldn't send me to that message. It would send me to, I guess, whatever the most recent message anyone had put on Twitter was. And a couple of them were of topless women. And I was like, what? This goes, hang on, I don't think this is part of the shift code deal. And
Like, does Connect scan this and I get golden keys, or?
And I wasn't that unhappy about it, but now it stopped. it stopped doing it. I'm like, oh, okay.
just
well.
as you got used to it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And Tequila, you been gaming much recently?
Well, I mean, if you look at my Steam, no. I actually do a lot of that Steam share thing. So, somebody else's library is connected with mine. It's really cool. But what I've been doing, instead of using my Steam with all of these new games I got and all shared and they're all new and they're not mine and I can play them, is I've been playing Pokemon Silver.
Oh, Silver. I
Like,
thought it was going to be like
Silver.
X or Y, but Silver.
No, it's Silver. And so, yeah, that's literally what I've put in at least 30 hours this week of just breeding Pokemon so I can get their personalities to tournament level so that I can have their EVs all statted out. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Pretty nice. Now, on the vein of how the podcast actually got its name, Unpopular Opinions time, Silver is the best Pokemon game ever released.
I liked it, yeah. I think it's awesome.
Generation 2 has like the best starters.
I actually like Gen 1 starters.
Oh, I don't dislike them, but Gen 2's
Nostalgia. Nostalgia reason, you know.
All I've played is Generation 1, so I've only have that to work with.
Damn. I've just noticed I have one single comment on my my Steam profile, and it reads, ha 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 ha, of Orcs and Men, creator 50% off by the goat. People that I know are fucking crazy.
That sounds like one of those crazy, badly translated Babelfish scam mails.
Yeah, I think someone may have summoned a demon and made a Skype account for them. It was my brother.
Oh, there you go.
That makes it worse, but also explains it at the same time. Lord.
Oh, you mentioned using the Steam Share occasionally. I was reading the information about that, and it kind of suggested it'd only be within family members. It's actually available to be shared with friends as well.
Yes, I've got it shared with a friend.
Oh, so you can share with friends. You just can't be both logged in on it at the same time.
You can't play. Now he can be logged in, and I can play his games. But if he starts playing a game, then it boots me off.
Oh, okay. Because I had a friend who wanted to test out some of the games I had, and I was like, oh, they got the sharing thing coming up, and he said, but and we thought, oh, this is excellent. And then I was reading the information, and it suggested it was going to be like family only, which seemed unusual because I thought friends would have made much more sense. So it's good to know that is going to be how it's working.
It's yeah. I think they would have lost a lot if they only had it for family, but it's actually really cool.
Sure, that family only thing would be like impossible for them to enforce.
To regulate. Yeah.
But so I take it then that the person who owns the game is like in charge of it, in quotation marks. Like if you're playing one of his games and he goes to play it, it kicks you off. But if you're playing it and he wants to play it, it gives you a
warning. Yeah.
But obviously, like say you're playing it and then he wants to play it and he tries to launch the game. It will let him play though. It won't say no, you can't play it. Someone else's.
Oh yeah, no. So if if I'm playing Sleeping Dogs, for instance, that's one of his games, and he jumps on and he wants to play like The Walking Dead, it'll give me a warning. It'll say, hey, he's just booted up The Walking Dead. You need to save and quit.
Oh, because the game. Okay.
So that you can save your progress, because it saves your progress independently of his.
Yeah. I thought the way I thought it was you couldn't play the same game at the same time, but even if it's a completely different game, you still can't do two at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Yo comprendo. Speaking of yo comprendo, I don't know how it's relevant, but I got to use my my GCSE Spanish today for the first time in like years. I was showing a house to two Spanish guys and just doing the whole speaking really slowly and really clearly thing. And it annoyed me that much that when we walked outside the house, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I was all, "Te gusta la casa?" And he goes, "Wow, you speak Spanish?" I was all, that's about it. That's about as much. Yeah. So that's about as much as I've got. And he goes, "Well, yes, we like the house." I was like, "Yeah." And I'll probably never, ever get to use it again.
Probably not.
Ever.
That reminds me of the Family Guy, the road to Quahog when Brian's off to see his family. He's like, "Oh, you know, where are we going?" And the Mexican guy says, "Oh, you know, it's okay. We're going over here." And he says, "Oh, you speak English?" I say, "Nope, just this sentence and this one explaining it."
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And that's kind of like my experience in France as well.
Yeah. You're like, "Yeah, j'aime le fromage." And they're like, "You speak French?" "No, I just like cheese."
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like cheese. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because although the happiest face you've ever seen is a tourist who approaches you asking you where something is, and they're asking in English but saying, "Do you speak English?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What do you want?" And they're like, "Ah!" And
so much nicer than I was.
Yeah, and it says, "Where's the train station?" "Oh, it's there. It's across the road now on the left. Great big window building. Can't miss it." And they're like, the joy on their face of finding someone that can speak English just randomly in the middle of Paris. It's like cradling a newborn baby. It's like, ah. So every now and then, if I hear anyone speaking English, I kind of want to walk up to them and say, "Hello, can I help you?" and see what they're gonna do.
So much nicer than I was. So much more personable than when I lived there. Because I just avoided them. I was like, "Oh, they speak English."
Well, I've had it on the train.
And then I just pretended I spoke French.
I've overheard people on the train like looking for something, and I'm like, "Do I help them? Do I not?" Or no, if you love them, you must set them free. And if they come back, to you, then they need directions.
You're the hero that Paris deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
Yeah.
But only for the English speakers.
Well, I had that for two couples that were visiting, one from Seattle and one from I forget where else, and they were trying to find the train to certain places. "Oh, that's exactly where I'm going. Come with me, and we'll be fine." And they were talking, and then across away from us were another American couple that were talking. They're like, they found each other, and they came together and went off on their own and left me in the corner all alone. But that was fine because I'd been up all night with toothache, and I'd just got back from the hospital, so I was fine to not have to talk for a while. So.
I almost thought that was going to turn into Taken there now. You meet these guys at the airport. "Yeah, I know where you're going. I'll come with you." And then you kidnap them.
Yeah, that's exactly where that was going.
Yeah. Have you seen they're remaking Taken? They're calling it Homefront, and it's Jason Statham. And it's
they're remaking the movie?
More or less, it's essentially the same movie. They're calling it Homefront, with like the motto of "They took his daughter, he'll take his revenge. Jason Statham is."
I like the fact that one, it's got Statham in it because, as the saying goes, I'm Gatham for Statham. And it's got James Franco as a bad guy, and it's like, oh, I like the sound of this.
Yeah. Has anyone seen the second one, Taken 2?
No, I saw the first one, and I was like, that's good enough. That's where that ends.
Yep.
That should have ended.
Yep.
I've not seen it. I've only heard about it, and there are people that are saying Taken 3 is going to be where he has to kidnap himself and then himself. So,
yep.
I'm going to take me. I'm going to find me, and I'm going to kill me.
I wouldn't be surprised because spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Taken 2, like a 2-year-old film that wasn't really that good. I think they attempt to kidnap his daughter again, I think, from what I remember. But then he gets kidnapped, and then through his super secret magic James Bond watch, his daughter finds him and frees him, and then I think their wife gets kidnapped.
I was going to say, I saw in the trailer that the wife got kidnapped. So when you're saying that he got kidnapped, like, wait, how many people get kidnapped now? It's like
all of them.
It's the first season of 24. It's like she's kidnapped. Oh, they released. Oh, no, kidnapped again. Oh no, now her. It's now her. This time. Who's kidnapped now?
The director got kidnapped. It's basically the first movie. It's like that, like Eastern European gang of people. It's essentially the people from their hometown who've come to get revenge on him. Is who the antagonists are in it, and it's weird, but it's good enough to watch, but not good enough to pay for.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that too loudly because, piracy laws, but whatever. You can watch through people's windows. It's fine.
I can
totally.
come back to the topic of remakes and reboots later on, because I've got things noted down.
Well, we are on the kind of general lightly gaming themed topics section, so while we're here, if you want to kick us off, we can get started.
Okay. Well, people were asking us about us. They're asking me about our thoughts about games that became movies and movies that maybe became games, and how terrible they are, if there are any good ones. And what came to mind is that last night I got bored, so I started as research in quotation marks of watching the Tomb Raider movies again.
Wow.
Oh.
And that's the thing, I watched the first Tomb Raider movie and I was like, this isn't terribly, terribly bad. It's not great, but it's like, it's not too bad. And then I started to watch the second movie, and within 5 minutes I'd turned it off and I was like, no, let's look at something else instead. Because I don't know, the first movie I could sit through, and I was like, this is okay. The second one, something didn't work, and I just didn't want to take it. And I was like, no, I'm done. But then they announced that they were going to actually reboot the Tomb Raider film franchise.
Yeah.
And then they rebooted the game franchise as well. So now we got two things going in two different... I imagine they're going to go in perhaps two different directions.
Yeah.
Because if the reboot starts off as an origin story as well, I'm going to start flipping tables, because...
That would be interesting.
Yeah. But what also concerned me was they were going to remake other franchises. Like there was talk of another Mortal Kombat movie. Then they said, "Oh, we're going to remake those," and then they made that terrible Tekken movie that everyone decided was terrible. And
whoa! I own that on Blu-ray.
Okay.
It is terrible though.
Oh, okay.
They ruined like every character, but I own it on Blu-ray anyway because it's Tekken.
And then I think they want to redo. I don't think they want to redo Street Fighter, but they're trying it with these side movies, like the Legend of Chun-Li or the Secret of Chun-Li, or whatever.
There's so many Street Fighter movies now, though. Like, there's like 5 of them. There's the live action one, which was so bad that it was good because Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile, like a Belgian playing an American who had a very strong like accent and was Jean-Claude Van Damme. You can't beat that. But there's like an animated Street Fighter movie for like all of the games, more or less, which follow like the story of the arcade mode in the games, which is, I don't really have a problem with it, but it's the story that we've already all seen happen from playing the game. The game had cutscenes. We don't need it again. I'm sure I could find someone who's put together all the cutscenes on YouTube, and it would be the same effect.
Well, I know someone who bought one of the Street Fighter 2 animated movies because it had Chun-Li in the shower.
Oh.
And in fact, thing is, as they do, because it's an animated movie, what they did is, for the UK audience, it was edited down ever so slightly. and then when we found a release online and we got that, I said, "Oh look, there's an extra few seconds, yay!"
I'm on I'm on Google watching the Chun-Li shower scene right now. I find it Damn, Chun-Li.
But yeah, and then
This is weird.
yeah, but there was everything from a Street Fighter anime series, and well, they've done animes about almost everything. Which, and then
Yeah.
that's the interesting thing. They're talking about games became movies. The first thing that came to mind was, of course, Resident Evil, which
Evil,
is
yeah.
on its sixth movie now, and the
Yeah.
story's gone in a completely different direction to the games.
Mhm.
Which I think I actually I like those movies.
I agree. I'm not one of the people who
Yeah.
dislike them, but there are lots of people who do that for me
Oh,
anyway.
yeah. It's like I go in going, right, I saw the first movie, I saw the second, I now know what to expect.
Yep.
What are you going to give me? Yeah, you gave me exactly what I thought you were going to give me, and it was fun.
Have you seen
Um,
the Resident Evil animated movies? There's two of them.
I've seen one that was CG, and it
Yeah.
was I think is it regeneration? Was it regeneration?
Degeneration.
Ah, that's okay.
So you're very, very close. Again, mixed feelings on that. I actually have it here. Resident Evil Degeneration. A new outbreak of terror. I wanted it to be good because from the entire Resident Evil franchise, Leon is my favourite character. But they ruined him in that movie, I think.
Well,
You know-
that's the complaint most people have is that they've completely destroyed this character, or doesn't this like well, it's their
Yeah.
character. They can do with him what they want, you know.
Yeah, true. Very true.
They're trying to make a World of Warcraft movie.
Yeah, it has a release date.
Yeah.
That should be
And-
interesting. Early 2015, I think.
I think
I think it's actually it's been pushed
December.
back, but
I remember it was like
They actually moved it from December. They had it slated to come out the same day as Star Wars Episode 7, so they moved it.
Oh.
yeah. Oh.
okay. I didn't realize why they had moved it. All I know
Yeah.
is that it said it's gonna be this date. Oh, I moved it now. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very Blizzard fashion of when it's done. But
Yes.
I think the director has a bit of a pedigree behind it, and the people who want to make it work really want to make it work because the amount of recognition that brand has, and the people who would want to see one, especially after something like Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it's like here epic fantasy, and like after the Hobbit's done, there's going to be a small gap in the market perhaps, and it'd be
Sure.
like. Because they've said, because Blizzard Entertainment, because that's their name, have said that we're not Blizzard Games, we're Blizzard Entertainment. We
Yep.
want to get into things like, why not do movies? And then they went, yeah, why not do movies? And then suddenly, movies.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the whole outcry whenever Blizzard say they're going to make movies is your in-game cutscenes are so good, just make one of those a movie. You don't need anything else. And everyone would flock to watch that. But I think as big of a following as World of Warcraft does have, it can't compete with Star Wars.
Oh no, definitely not.
Well, especially after they've kind of recognized that in episodes 1 to 3 there was a problem. That things didn't quite work out right as they should. And to be fair, like episodes 4, 5, and 6 also have some little problems as well. But
Yep.
we kind of overlook them because in the grander scheme of things, they're still good movies. So, and then they said, "Oh yeah, we might have Harrison Ford come back. Mark Hamill might come back." We're like, "Ooh, it's it's a reunion tour." And
Yeah.
then it's going to say, "Oh, by the way, it's the guy who does Star Trek is now doing Star Wars." And we go, "Uh-oh, lens flare everywhere."
With regards to like movies to games to movies, and then slightly tangent of that, there's one that like I really wanted to be good, but it went from a book to a movie to a game of the movie, and it was like one of the worst things I've played, but I really wanted it to be so good. Aragon.
Oh yeah, God, that movie sucked.
Those books are so good. Like the Aragon was published when the author was 17, but that book is so good.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah, he did definitely. And the movie came out and I was like, yes! And then I watched it and was like, no.
Yeah,
and then the game came out and was like, no.
Well, games coming from movies tend to be like really terrible.
Well, this is the second point, actually. The Van Helsing game. I thought that was really, really good.
Oh, that was was it a
The-
budget title on Steam?
No, that was that's a recent thing, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. This was a full big retail release. It was back on the PlayStation 2.
Ah.
I'm trying to think who played Van Helsing in the movie. Was it? It's not Hugh Jackman. Was it Hugh Jackman?
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, the video game adaptation of that game, really, really enjoyed it. So they do it right sometimes, but not too often.
A lot of the time it's because they said, "Oh yeah, we're bringing out a movie. You have 6 months to make a game that we want to be really good." And they go, six months. By then, we might have an idea about a game.
Yeah.
And they said, "Right, we'll take an old engine, we'll reskin this monster, quick, put in a boss fight. There we go, quick time events." So a lot of the time they say, "Oh, yeah." A lot of the time they say, "Oh, this game of this movie is terrible," and that's because, well, it wasn't allowed to be given the
time it needed.
The time it needed.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to think of movies that became games rather than games that became movies, and the only thing I could think of was the Blade Runner game, and that came out 20 years after the movie did.
Yeah.
And that was good. It was classy. It was nicely well done. But then I was trying to think of anything else, and all I could ever think of was like cash in for kids on, like, Shrek 7 go-karting, and I go,
Yeah.
But on a surprise note, for the games that turned into movies, a surprise one that popped in my list was like, Pokemon. Does that count?
I guess
Yes.
Because that's that's like they have a movie every year, and then more games every year, and then TV shows. Like, this is a really successful franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when the first movie came out, everyone's parents were like, "I don't understand what's going on."
Yeah.
It was about friendship.
Yeah,
Come on, parents.
it's all about friendships where we have our little pets fight each other to the death. Yeah.
Yeah. Animal rights.
It's like, there's kind of a mixed message here going on, but I guess I'm not the audience, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. We actually managed to buy the first Pokemon movie on DVD during university, because it was a Sunday. I was bored. I was going through the section on the shelves. Like, I've not seen that. Let's just watch that, because I saw a couple episodes when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, this, I know someone who will want to watch this, so I took it back and watched it. And was like, yeah, I kind of see their point about not really getting what's going on, but
I was there when that movie dropped in the theaters, and I got that little Mew card. I don't know if you guys got those.
Oh, I lost mine. Like a long time back.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
I think I got one in the DVD box.
Really?
I think there was one that was in there, yeah.
I got a coin with my VHS one.
Ooh.
I had a pirated VHS. I know that the oh no, that's not Pokemon. Never mind.
VHS is not a new format, a new encode like DivX anymore, kids. If you want to know what VHS is, you have to Google or use the Wayback Machine. I don't know either way.
Way back.
But you'll have to find out what VHS was at some point. So
I think they should kind of do that more often, like give away free stuff with things. I remember the first Yu-Gi-Oh game that came out for Game Boy Advance, Stairway to the Destined Duel, that came with like 3 limited edition, really rare cards.
Yeah.
It's just
the Pokewalker was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I have my Pokewalker right here with batteries in it, and I haven't used it yet.
Oh, it's actually one of the most accurate pedometers in the world, which is funny.
Really? Is that is
Yeah.
that a fact?
That is a fact. It's one of the more accurate ones, which is really hilarious because it was meant for Pokemon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose that maybe possibly explains why Soul Silver still costs 30 quid.
Oh, yeah, it's still...
Because I bought it like a week ago.
We should play.
Maybe. If I can stop playing Pokemon X.
Oh, you got the new one. Go away.
Bye. X is so good though. I mean, compared to
that's
Black
the
and
one
White and Black and White 2, X is so good.
Is it? Because Black. I don't know. I've got White, and I haven't even beat it yet. To be honest, it's the first
Yeah.
Pokemon game I have not finished.
I am exactly the same. I played like a small bit of Pokemon Black. I was like, fuck this, and then didn't get Black 2. But
Yeah,
X is a completely different. X and Y are completely different. They're so good. They've taken like all the best parts from Generations 1 and 2 and then added new stuff.
Okay, I'm excited then. My
Yeah.
3DS isn't in yet, but
Get hype. I mean, again, I'm a big Pokemon fanboy, as you may have guessed from the first 3 episodes of this show. But maybe 1 month or so after I bought my 3DS, I got the Fire Emblem one. I went to Eurogamer.
Fire Emblem.
I went to Eurogamer in London, and they announced the fucking Pokemon Edition ones that they were selling at a discount because they were just,
Yeah.
I was like, fucking bastards. But Fire Emblem though.
You know the Zelda one just dropped for $150
Yes.
on Black Friday. $150.
I saw that. It's still like 200.
The XL, yeah, it's jumped way back up. But if you were able to get it, whew.
I've actually, I don't know if this is the same for anyone else outside of the US. I have not been able to get on Tiger Direct at all.
Oh yeah, because it's Cyber. Yeah. It's like they're having a Cyber week, so
It's back now.
huge sales. All these huge sales are going on.
Because I know they were doing sales, so I was trying to get on there on Black Friday, but I kept getting access denied. You cannot access this site from this server, and I was like, what? So I tried a different browser, and I tried the pirate browser and everything, because I know they ship internationally, and I've been able to get on there now, but I wasn't able to get on for the last like 7 days.
Yeah, they lock it down pretty heavily.
Yep, they're like, oh, these deals are for US only, fuckers.
Well, you can change your browser proxy so that it looks like you're from the US.
I mean, I used the pirate browser, which makes it look like I'm from everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Oh,
And I still couldn't get on with that.
Yeah, well, a lot of the sites actually shut down. Like, I know that Target.com, which is a little place like Tesco, shut down because of their deals, because they had a huge sale going on, and they were the ones with the Zelda XL that was so cheap.
I mean,
all of their XLs were that cheap though. Like they were selling everything at $150.
Yeah, they were selling the regular black XL here for 99. No, sorry, the regular 3DS, not the XL, for 99 quid. That was probably the best I seen it on during
That's a pretty good deal, yeah.
But again, that's back up to 160 odd now.
Yeah. Ugh.
Tempted to get a Wii U though, if I find one cheap enough, but they did discount them on Amazon here at the weekend, but they sold out within like 2.5 minutes.
Oh wow.
It was £172 for the 32 gigabyte black premium version, and it just sold in like 2.5 minutes.
Oh, that'd have been cool though.
Yeah, I mean, there's no games for it, but that's the same problem I'm having with my Vita. It's been sitting on my desk for like well over a month now, never once used.
That's the thing, because in the US at least, they were starting to package the Vita with the PS4 in a bundle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try and get units out there.
Yeah.
Have you heard the whole thing? Apparently, the PS4 is the fastest selling console of all time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the second place, which I didn't believe, is actually the PlayStation Portable.
Really?
The first PSP. Yeah, somehow I don't believe that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you're thinking about it, that platform had a lot of games, like a lot of games. But I didn't think it would be the second fastest selling of all time, because I'm sure we all remember when the Wii came out.
Yeah.
How hard
you
that was
could
to
not get a Wii anywhere. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I managed to get 3.
This is why I
not-
could get a Wii.
Not all for me. I went down into, because we were actually trying to find stores that had one, and there was rumor of one particular, I think it was the Virgin Megastore down the Champs-Élysées, having some in stock. So I went down after working night shift one day. I went down there like 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "Hello, do you have any Wii's in stock?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, but before I left, someone asked me, if they do have one, do you think you can get one for me as well? And I'll, pay you for that. And I was like, I'll try. And I went down there and I was like, talking to the girl. And I was like, well, say, do you have any in stock? And I'm like, do you have two? And she's like, I'll check, wink, wink. And then went off and then came back and they said, yeah, we can let you have two. And I was like, hey, but I guess they wanted to stop me like buying a whole bunch and then selling them for higher prices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the next day I turned up at work and put the Wii U down on the guy's desk and his jaw dropped. He's like, "Oh my God, I didn't think you were managed to get one." And then someone else heard about that, and then the next day he and I went down to the store again, and I walked in the door and she saw me. He was like, "Uh-oh." I was like, no, this is for me. This guy here. He wants to buy one now, not me. And he's like, oh, okay. And then they looked in the back and said, yeah, we do have some free. So in the space of a couple of days, I managed to get 3 Wii U's in Paris. It's like opening week as well.
Damn.
So it's like this was incredible luck.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there's like you can't get PlayStation 4 for love nor money here at the moment.
yeah, I mean, I just had to use every fibre of restraint in my body to not sing a song we learnt in like school about the Champs-Élysées. It was basically just the words Champs-Élysées and then ba-doop doop doop, and it was great. It was the highlight of my 14-year-old life. It really was.
Mine was learning the French version of head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Do you want to reenact that for us?
No, because my pronunciation is still far too English, and I'd probably still get things a bit wrong, and I'd probably offend any French people listening.
Well, yeah, I'm
Been a couple years since I could say
I'm
it.
sure we have a huge French audience.
Oh yeah.
I like the accent.
Yeah, very good.
I dig it.
I try. Well, after living here for 8 years, I try and get some inflection. Although I'll still say, I still will intentionally sometimes have an English accent because I want to give the impression I'm trying,
Yep.
and to make them appreciate that, but force them to switch to English. So we're like, bonjour, comment t'appelles tu? Qu'est-ce que c'est? And then they'll like, oh, yeah, and they'll switch to English, and I'll go, yeah, I win again.
You sneaky bastard.
Yeah, and there's sometimes I'll go into somewhere and I'm like, oh, hi, do you speak a little bit of English? And I said, a little bit. And it says, yeah, I was here last week having a full conversation with you. I know you do. Shut up. Let's do this.
Just like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Hi.
Oh, dear.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Like me, Traggy. Chav. Just completely confuse them. Just go full on Chav accent and confuse everyone ever.
Well, I do have a couple people that I work with that do come from that kind of area and will have that kind of accent to them. So that's always kind of funny when they're taking French lessons.
Yeah. What do you mean, fromage?
Yeah. Where was I? Oh god. My notes of going back to the whole movie.
Games to movies.
Yeah, I started listing down as many Euro Bowl movies as I could think of.
Postal.
But that's the stupid thing is I think I liked Postal.
I didn't dislike it, but it was like the most ridiculous thing I had ever seen, but I didn't dislike it.
I think that's why I kind of enjoyed it. I was like, this is bananas, but you know what? I'll go, especially when Eurobol was in it himself.
Yeah.
As well as like, okay, you know what? I'll accept you just for that as well. But then there was the Alone in the Dark movie, which I think I think it was the Nostalgia Critic said about as much of that movie as needs to be said. There was the Far Cry movie, which I heard that was being made. I didn't realize it actually got made and released.
Wait, it's out?
It popped up on Netflix as one of the results. I'm like,
Really?
Wait, what? And the cover is very much like the cover of the Far Cry 1 box art is like Far Cry, and then the guy's face in the water with a knife, but it's an actual guy. And I'm like, uh-oh, I kind of want to watch, kind of don't. And what I was surprised of is that he did a Dungeon Siege movie called In the Name of the King
I've seen
with
that.
Jason Statham and all of that. What I did not realize is that they made a second one.
They did.
They made a second one with Dolph Lundgren. And apparently, in the synopsis, is that he's like a ex-special forces agent that travels back in time
Yep.
and has to lead a.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, you know what, Paul, you win.
Thinking about it, it's actually the second one that I've seen. It's not the first one. It's that one.
Yeah. Well, the first one seemed to be pretty. I wouldn't say Lord of the Ringsy, but it kind of like set itself very seriously. Like, oh, this actually could be, this is maybe the kind of film he should be making.
Yeah.
And then people saw it and was like, no, it's not so. It's just not so much what the genre. It's the fact that it's films. He shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
A bit like how people say David Cage should be making films, not movie games. Because he's like, I want to make the game that is the movie experience, but if people don't understand my game, then that's their fault. It's like, no, David Cage, no, you're going down the route that ends badly. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But that thing is, after I got on the Euroball tangent, it was very hard to come off of it.
You're just
And the least we say about the Mario movie, the better, I think.
I haven't seen that, and I plan on never seeing it.
Oh, what? The fact it was like Dennis Hopper's last movie, I think it was, and it's like Dennis Hopper gets remembered for playing Bowser in that, just like it was the guy I've forgotten his name now, which is people will crucify for me for not remembering his name.
Heath
We
Ledger?
played no, it was from the that's the Street Fighter movie. He played Bison.
Oh fuck! Yeah.
Exactly.
Shit.
He was from the Adams family. He was Gomez Adams, and that was his last movie as well. It's like all these great actors and their last movies are terrible video game adaptations. So if you're an aging classic actor, don't do any game to movie adaptations, because that's going to be your last thing you ever do, and don't do that.
Yeah. I've just been thinking there about like anime to video game jumps, and how like they'll make like seven games from the one anime, but every game's like exactly the same. Just looking at my shelf here, the Naruto franchise.
Any fighting game,
Yeah,
generally.
across PlayStation 2, the Wii, and then like the 360, there's about 15 Naruto games in my room right now, and I'm fairly certain they're all just the same game. I'm fairly sure.
To be fair, the Disgaea games, they're basically all the same game, but intentionally because that's what we like about them.
True, yeah, those are
and then-
ridiculously popular though.
Then they went and made an anime show based on Disgaea, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, those are ridiculously popular.
Yeah.
But the thing that happens a lot with anime games though is they'll come out in Japan only, and then they'll stay there.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of heartbreaking, because there's like, I love a lot of anime. My favorite anime, which like I have a tattoo vaguely of my turtles named after it. It has like 3 games on the 3DS, but they're Japan only and they're not leaving. And the 3DS is region locked, so
Yes, it is. It was so annoying.
yeah, nothing I can do about that, and it's heartbreaking.
This is where I sit on my original DS going, yeah, it's region-free, US games, woo! Was the only way I could get the Adventure Time game is
Oh
to
yeah.
get that for the plain DS and play that, so that was good.
Was that
Here, I thought you were
the
playing, like,
new
the-
one?
What, the Explore the Dungeon because I don't know? No, the one before that, which was Hey Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage?
Oh yeah.
I see, you two seem so into this, but I've never seen that show ever.
You've never seen the show?
No,
Oh, it's good. You'd like it.
I don't get it.
I
It's
rewatched
just postmodern, yeah.
I rewatched episode 1 last night, and I was like, oh wow, Finn sounds so young back then.
How long has it been going on?
It's what, 3-4 years now, I think. It
Yeah.
feels like it.
Weird. Very
And
much.
when he starts off singing the theme song, I was like, that's Finn singing, but wow, he sounds so young. And then when I'm watching episode 1 again, I'm like, wow, he was young back then.
Yeah.
Because, he grew up with the character, as it were.
Mhm.
Um, there was what, slightly the side topic is games going on to poor choice of formats was Valkyria Chronicles.
Yep. Wii
That-
exclusive.
No, the Valkyria. I
Oh,
think I may be thinking-
PS3 exclusive.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the PlayStation. The first one was on PlayStation 3, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was art, and it was fantastic. And then they put the second one on the PSP and made it half dating sim. And I'm like, no. And then there came out a third one that just went off a slightly different route. I'm like, no, come back to the PlayStation, please. I want
See,
to.
I was
so-
only aware of the first one.
well, they made an anime show about that as well.
Oh, they
but,
did. I must check that.
I've watched like the first 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, it seemed to be following the games pretty closely. I imagine it would go pretty much down the same route for that as well. So if you never want to actually play the games, I imagine you can still watch the show and get the story. But the gameplay is pretty good in that.
It's the game that since I bought my PlayStation 3 has been like permanently in my shopping basket, but I've never bought it.
Oh.
You know,
It's good.
it's the game that's just always been there.
I did a little game exchange with someone at work where he lent me some games, I lent him some, and Valkyria Chronicles was the one that I had to like beg and demand to get back from him.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, here's this game back, this game there, but it's gonna be like, oh, that's fine. Where's my Valkyria Chronicles? Oh, yeah, I'll get back to you sometime. And then it was like a year and a bit later. I'm like, you done with it? Yeah. He's like, kind of. I need to just a little bit more. And
There's
eventually, it is back on my shelf now, and it's sitting right there, and it's like, there you are. I stroke you, precious.
I think there's more like video game to anime adaptations too than you might realize. Like there's a Devil May Cry anime, a 13 episode Devil May Cry anime that was actually pretty good. And there's a Dragon Age animated movie.
No way.
A Mass Effect animated movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I'd heard of the Dragon Age one, but I didn't know there was a Mass Effect one.
Yeah, I didn't know the Mass Effect one.
It does exist, but I haven't seen it. I own the DVD for the Dragon Age one, and it was okay. I've reviewed it on my YouTube # self promotion.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. But as was the Devil May Cry anime, surprisingly, it was just a lot of blood, so much blood.
Well, that was a bit like the Dead Space movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet either.
I haven't seen that one either. Yeah.
If I remember it properly, it's like a semi prequel.
Oh, well, I'll be right back, and you guys keep going. Toilet break.
But so this is the notes I was jotted down this morning in a hazy. After being up for 14 hours in a kind of haze, I was trying to think of things. Not just like video movie games, because it's been overdone, people talking about this so often, and I just feared that we'd be talking over the same things again and again.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of things that were maybe like, because it's coming up to Christmas, and even the buskers, and on the train an accordion player started to play Christmas carols on his accordion.
Oh.
And I was like, no. And then I got to the shops on the stores, and the window fronts had little Santa sleighs in the windows already. I'm like, oh, he must have hit the first already, and then suddenly everything kicks off. So I was trying to think of like Christmas games that are maybe not. I was trying to think ones that were specifically set in Christmas time, but there's not actually that many. But then it makes sense because you could only sell them one time a year. They'd only play them for a couple of weeks, and then they never play them again.
Because it would get really old really fast.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like seasonal events, like in mentioning World of Warcraft again. You know, they'll have a Christmas event that lasts for 2 weeks, and
Animal
Easter
Crossing
event.
has various events within the game.
Yeah, so it's things like events that are part of the game itself. Maybe I imagine things like Team Fortress 2 will have events where everyone wears Santa's hats and it snows.
Yeah.
it drops presents when you kill them and things like that, and there's probably like DLC bundles. But I'm sure there have been games that are out just for like the Christmas time. But I imagine they probably like, the budget $10
Yeah,
Barbie sleigh ride dress up game kind of
with
thing. And
ponies.
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
can't. I honestly can't think of a single game that has had to do with Christmas purely.
I mean the most I can think of right now is Batman Arkham Origins, where it's set on Christmas Eve, and that's only because and I think Batman Arkham City was also set in the winter, but I don't think at Christmas time.
There was a what was that? What was that? It was like Grand Theft Auto, but it was for 1920 gangsters or 1940s. It was the 1940s.
Mafia.
Yeah, it
Crackdown.
was Mafia 2. Yeah, Mafia 2 had a Christmas segment as well.
Oh.
In fact, they like everything was snowing, and then you turn on the radio in the car, and it's all Christmas music from the 1940s.
Oh, I'll have to go back to that game sometime then.
Yeah, it was that was like my favorite section of that because you could drive through New York as it's snowing with old Christmas music playing and
I see. I'm quite the opposite now because last night I was driving across, in Grand Theft Auto 5, a sunny sunset, nice warm sun with like All Saints Pure Shores on the radio, going, yeah, this is nice. I'm trying to blank out what's outside in the street where it's frosty and cold, which is why I can't play Skyrim right now.
oh yeah, Skyrim is just purely
Although there are mods that let you change the seasons into like summer and spring, so maybe I might look into doing that just
the
for a while.
Elsewhere. I think there's an Elsewhere mod.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to do that. But it's as you said, it's very difficult to try and find anything that is very like Christmas themed in games that isn't like a specific seasonal. Oh, it's that time of year. It's 1st of December to the 31st. We're going to put white on the ground now.
Yeah, yeah.
On a slightly more current controversial video game news thing, have you heard about what Riot Games have been doing in the last
Is this
few
with
days?
the League of Legends and their contracts?
Yeah, yeah.
I've only heard about this this evening.
Yeah, basically, from what I gather, Riot Games, the people who make League of Legends, are trying to force all professional League of Legends players into signing a contract saying that they will not be publicly, they will not publicly play or stream or talk about or wear clothing from any other kind of esport.
Whoa. That's pretty extreme.
Yeah, so my brother who casts StarCraft and plays StarCraft, he literally read that article and uninstalled League of Legends instantly from his computer. Which,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't blame him for that. He was like, okay, fuck you. But, yeah, it's kind of silly. Literally, if someone who's on a professional League of Legends team is outside wearing a shirt with, say, a StarCraft logo on it, they're in trouble.
Well,
Which
I
is stupid.
kind of saw some of their point in what they were saying by saying you are viewed as like the face of the game, of the sport, of the franchise. People look to you, so we want you to represent something that we want you to be representing. We don't want any bad press or any confusion. So I kind of get what they were saying. It's just it might be coming off in
Yeah.
kind of a dickish way about it.
But
Well,
I mean,
it's like a footballer not being able to wear, somebody else's shirt, like a tennis shirt, for instance, because the football league controls them. It doesn't make sense. Like that's just too much.
yeah. I mean, like, obviously, people who professional League of Legends players, they are going to be gamers anyway. They're going to play these other games,
Yeah.
but now they can't do it for YouTube. They can't stream it. They can't speak publicly about it with their friends in case the Riot Games spies hear them.
Exactly.
It's a bit much, I think. I do understand the point, Bebsey, you were saying about, well, they are the face of the game, but then again, that would be more their team's problem as opposed to the game's developers.
Yeah, I mean, can they? Because I was getting a little bit confused over what they were saying in their wording. Is that can they still stream League of Legends games, or is it just because then, oh yeah, you can't stream it during a competition.
Well,
You can only, we'll stream it for you. I don't know exactly if that's what they were saying, because I say I only just
That,
woken up and I'm reading legal documents. It's not my best time.
yeah. Well,
if that
one of
if that's true, they're trying to get money.
one of the ways they're phrasing it here is many top League of Legends players make a lot of money from streaming their gameplay online as they play ladder matches or practice for upcoming professional events. But while they may play League of Legends 90% of the time, sometimes they'll pop into another game for a bit of a change of pace, which will usually decrease their viewer count, but they will still get paid somewhat. And Riot is banning this practice. So people who basically have gotten quote-unquote famous from playing League of Legends are now no longer allowed to play anything else in public. Hashtag disappoint.
Yeah.
I think I secretly hope that this destroys League of Legends a bit, because
Yes.
whenever there's a tournament, Twitch TV crumbles.
Yep.
It's
Very
like, oh,
much
the
so.
chat's not working. Oh, my chat doesn't go through, or the stream's delayed, or the quality suffers. Oh, what's going on? Oh, there's a League of Legends tournament going on. There we go.
Yeah, there's 2 million viewers over there, and it's just fucking everything up.
It's like League of Legends, Total Biscuit, and the Yogscast are three things that will just cripple YouTube. Not YouTube, well, YouTube as well, but Twitch TV. Like Yogscast right now are doing their
Oh yeah,
I
The
guess they're
Christmas
doing
thing?
their dairy drive, as it were, and that's getting about 12,000 views in. I was like, well, they're famous. It's a charity stream. I can get
Yeah.
behind that. League of Legends, where you get a 250,000 people watching people play that game. It's like it's not the game style I enjoy.
Yep.
Although apparently Blizzard All Stars is supposedly going to change that, according to what people were saying. I've tried it, and I tried Heroes of New Earth. I was like, well, these are okay, but as soon as you do anything wrong, the entire team turns against
yeah.
you, starts
Yeah.
cussing you out. I'm like, this isn't nice. I'm
Yeah.
not having fun. Log out and then never go back in.
Yeah, my brother's experience with League of Legends, he played one match as part of a team against the AI, and it was his first time ever playing. And one of the teammates was like, go top, why are you going mid with that character? Go bottom. And he was like, fuck this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Apparently here again, legal-wise, Riot has the legal right to draw up a contract that says practically anything they wanted to, even these bans. Players have the legal right to not sign it and lose their spot on the League of Legends esports team.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We'll see how.
Hopefully everyone will just go, oh well, we're not watching anymore.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, we'll move on to the next thing. Let's go to Heroes of New Earth.
Does anyone still play Heroes of New Earth?
Yes. Me?
Oh,
Just me. It's just me,
pass on
though.
head.
Yeah, well, it's not been the only competitive sport thing where there's been some like controversy and people being shuffled about. Because what is it? Like some of the earlier StarCraft tournaments had like words of people cheating, some match fixing.
Yeah.
I think there was something. There was one particular. Oh, never mind. I was thinking of someone who was caught using third-party programs, but that was the Binding of Isaac on the Boiler League. Because they were
How's there a league for binding?
well,
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
well, it's Crumps sorting this out on Twitch. Is that they get together a few dozen famous people who like playing Binding of Isaac, and they all play each other in a tournament fashion, and it's pretty fun and draining on the guy because everyone's playing different hours of the day. He barely get much sleep, but they had a tournament going and things were going pretty well. And then but some of these third-party programs will have little telltale glitches, and one of them popped up on one guy when he was streaming. Streaming in one of the in one of the tournaments, said, "Wait, what happened there? What happened there?" There's only one reason that would happen, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, you caught me." So he was wiped out from that tournament. They rescheduled everything, and this is a friendly tournament league, and they're using third-party programs, and then there was StarCraft that there was supposedly in I think it was Korea. There was some match fixing, and it's like
it was Korea.
Yeah, well, it's well, there's a lot of money going around.
It's the national sport.
Yeah, but I say I don't believe anyone in the StarCraft tournaments are bound to say, right, you are StarCraft, you will wear our StarCraft hat, you will eat our StarCraft things with it.
Yeah.
Just more of a case of, trying not to get caught speeding in a Ferrari with a hooker in the trunk, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're just about at time here.
Yeah.
But to wrap up, I want to mention those Spanish guys from earlier. They're actually here to make an iOS game that's also going to go to Android. It's basically a Tamagotchi. So,
yay!
If they do it right, that thing's going to be so cool.
I'm
And
excited.
I'm going to monitor it closely and be on the alpha testers and stuff. So I'll keep everyone up to date with that because that's going to be fun.
Right up my alley.
Yeah, it goes to. I asked him. I go, well, what genre of game are you making, or is that a secret? And he goes, oh well, it's kind of for kids, like a virtual pet. And I go, for big kids like me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to play that. Definitely.
There's a special adult mode.
Oh yeah, the Tamagotchi wears a bikini.
Yeah. Well, that was.
Well,
it's strange how people classify that because just to round off, I've been watching. I got my Netflix working, so I was watching some of the Batman animated movies.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it finished. Said, "Oh, do you like watching adult animation?" I'm like, Batman's not what comes to mind when I think adult animation.
Yeah, well, one of those movies is pretty dark.
That's the thing, but then they do end up having people like being killed and dead and blood everywhere. I'm like, wow, kids' cartoons have gotten pretty gruff now.
Pretty gruff.
I mean, the one where I can't remember the name of it, and again, sorry for spoilers for people who haven't seen like a 8-year-old film. The animated one where basically starts with Joker beating Robin to death with a metal pipe.
Yes.
Well,
that's pretty dark,
I believe that was a
The Killing
Batman
something?
Beyond the Killing Joke.
Yeah,
no,
that's the one.
The Killing Joke was the Neil Gaiman book that ends with perhaps Batman killing Joker, perhaps not. It's left ambiguous.
Yeah.
But I believe it was a
I love
Batman Beyond movie where it started off doing that, and then it went into Joker coming back, as it were.
Ah.
But so I know far too much about this stuff.
Nerd.
But oh crap! I was going to say something else there. Oh yeah, about the censorship and the things with the cartoons is that I remember distinctly Cartoon Network with Dragon Ball Z.
yeah.
Because we managed to get satellite TV in the house in England. I was like, my housemates knew what Dragon Ball Z was. They grew up with it. I was like, okay, watch some Dragon Ball Z. I was like, okay, watch this. And I was like half watching or half not. And anyone like gets destroyed, the big fireball blast, and you see them like disintegrate into particles, and they go, oh my god, he was blasted into another dimension. And I go, no, he was clearly killed there. But for the kids, it's like, no, he's in another dimension now. We will never see him again.
Yeah, I was having a discussion with, I can't remember who it was, someone important recently. I can't remember no idea who it was, but they were saying something about how there was a time where the censorship for cartoons had to change, and they started using the word like destroyed instead of killed.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
And I was just like, since they pointed that out, I haven't been able to like not notice it. I never noticed it before.
Well, in the late 80s, early 90s, I remember specifically there was a clause where, like, if you're on a daytime TV show, you can't say, oh, they love you. They have to say, oh, they care about you. I'm like, what? And sometimes they'd mess up the lines and it's, oh, no, but he loves you. Oh, cut. I can't say that. I can't say. And they're like, aww.
Like, that's not inappropriate language, though. Like, God damn it, censorship. It's not like they're saying, I don't even have an example, but yeah, the word love is not inappropriate for children, I don't think.
I think American TV shows censor, like when it comes to importing like Dragon Ball Z, like America has like this terrible censorship where you watch the show and it's completely different than when you watch it in Japanese.
But they have that in One Piece apparently, because there's some guy who like he'll be smoking, but when they edit it, they put in it as a lollipop instead.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like
Really?
he's always got a lollipop instead, and I was like, what the heck? Yeah, you check out the I think it's 4Kids animation that do it, but check out the
Yes.
before and after screenshots. Some of these are hilarious stuff.
Fucking 4Kids ruin everything. Like, have you seen season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh? Without going too much into it.
No, no.
It was only in Japan. They never translated it and brought it here or anything. But literally season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh, like, you see people getting the shit kicked out of them. They talk about suicide. There's guns and people being robbed and shot and like whenever. Have you seen the first season of actual English Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
Where there's like the flashback shots of, when Joey used to bully him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You see Yugi get like kicked in the head in season 0, and then you see Joey like fighting the other bullies, like properly getting like half beaten to death and getting carried around bloodied to the hospital and things. And then 4Kids get it and it's like, oh, I stole your puzzle and threw it in a pool.
Well, we can talk about like censorship in games, for example, another time. But I want to end on my end. I want to end saying there was one show that took matter that is like, well, we can't have this in this show, so we know we're gonna have to change it, but let's have fun with it. Which was Ultimate Muscle.
What is that?
It's you might have remember them as a I don't know if you did as a small kid, but they were like pink, just pure pink plastic little models of like muscle men and different monsters. This was basically a sequel to the original show. I think it's called like King Man or something. But just look up Ultimate Muscle from the around the 2000 era. And they had so much fun with it. They were like, right, we have to redub it, but we are going to do it with a sly little wink and a nudge. Like at one point the big old master has to take on a fight, and he in the Japanese version, I'm sure he's like killed, as it were. But in the English dub, they had fun with it, and they said, "Don't worry, I'm sure our master's leg will be perfectly fine, and he's in hospital right now." And and it pans up to the sky, and there's like the silhouette of him in the sky with a little twinkling eye, going, "It's okay, I'll be fine. I'll be on back on my feet anytime soon." Yeah. I'm like, they knew they had to turn it into kids, and just went stupid with it. And for that, I as bad as this show was, it was hilarious because of that. And I think that people that can take that and do something special with that, I can get with them. But turning a cigarette to a lollipop, I'm not sure if that's needed.
Yeah.
But for on that topic, for me, I think I'll shut up because it's been time now. So if anyone else wants to end it off.
Do you have anything you wanna add, Tequila, before we wrap?
Hi.
That
You guys are cool.
That was so awkward. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay then, everybody. Thank you for listening, or technically watching this the still image while we speak about things for the last hour. We'll see you all back here next Thursday for more nonsense and stuff. The links to my two lovely guests will be in the description of this video at the very top. I will link to their creative things, especially the embarrassing stories and the llama video. Yeah, copy her dance moves, guys, and
especially in France.
Yes, there's a few things I need to try out later on.
And on that cliffhanger, see you next week.